beginning of another week in Chester, and the 400-year-old My Haunted Hotel swelters in the UK's hottest week so far. 4 centuries ago, these streets were very different, and the history of this iconic inn has recently started to come alive.
Who are you?
Charles.
Charles.
So since last week we got the name Charles. Me and Danny been doing loads of research. We come across some plans from 1976 of what the building used to look like. So we got a secret staircase behind the upstairs bar. Now I can't for the life figure out where them stairs led to at that time, because on the ground floor plans there's no staircase whatsoever. The rooms at the front had 5 bedrooms as opposed to 4, so all of them wouldn't have had an ensuite bathroom, so I'm guessing that's where the extra bedroom came from at the time. The corridor, another corridor led into an area at the back which we're not sure where it is, and also room 6 used to be a lounge. Quite strange place to have a lounge, to be fair, but yeah, a lot of things that we can't make head and tail of at the moment.
It's been a busy few days. Harry and I have been researching non-stop. I think I've been delving into all the historical Chester archives over the weekend, trying to find out every little detail about this building, and some of the stuff that I've found has been really fascinating, especially the links between here and the Golden Eagle, which is 200 yards up Castle Street, and the possibility of both these buildings being linked to the Freemasons, who of course had ties to the Knights Templar centuries before. We know that the Randall home generations that lived here in this building during the 1500s and the 1600s were involved in secret meetings to do with the financial situation of the city and the governors here. But the Golden Eagle as well was rumoured to be a Masonic lodge. Really secret stuff going on, and the research is still going on now.
So, as you know, the building was built in 1622 for the Randall home family. Now, when they left the premises, we can't find any records who took over, who was the first landlord in 1717. Now, I actually thought that was 1714, but Danny's found some research which suggests it's 1717. There's loads of periods that are missing from this building. For instance, at the front of the building, especially in the function room up here, there's a Greek column, and I believe the Rose and Chester, which is another tier of shops from the ground floor, used to carry on down Lower Bridge Street and used to pass outside the building, outside the Old King's Head on the first floor.
Look, the ultimate aim here is to find out who this Charles was, and I found a period of 29 years spanning from 1688 to 1717 where there is just no history at all on this building. Is that the time period that this was the brothel, and that Charles, whoever this guy was, lived here, owned this building, and was involved with these dealings and the potential murder of one of the women's children here?
A question I've been asking really myself is, does the weather affect paranormal? Now, it's the hottest it's been all year this year, especially today. Does that have an effect on the paranormal? That's what I want to ask myself today.
I think for Harry, Brett and I, last Tuesday night during those latter stages and that ITC session, it was just a real breakthrough moment, and now that we can look back with sort of a fresh mindset, really cannot underestimate how powerful that evidence was. We've been investigating this building for years. Harry has been here for a very long time, and I think it was just one of those moments that was like, wow, okay, now we can move on to the next step. We know the name Charles. What else will come out about this building, and was he the cause behind the sword being buried here? We just don't know. These are answers that potentially you can only find out by investigating the paranormal.
Now we are noticing the previous guests are continuing to return to the location,
fascinated with gaining more evidence and finding answers as to what is going on here. Paula and Carly featured in episode 8, and they have returned, determined to discover the secret.
So obviously I fitted the cameras in Yo King's head to capture paranormal evidence, but it does have its security benefits, as you can imagine, as well. So I've got one in the garage. It's an open garage, which obviously I keep my car in. So far we've had people coming in, obviously taking a piss in the middle of the night. We have a weekly occurrence of someone coming to rob my waste oil, which has gone to the police. But on the early hours of Saturday morning, a middle-aged couple, I presume about 50 years old, crept in the garage and decided to have sex in the front of my car. Now, this literally, I mean, fair play to him or her. On a hard surface, not the nicest of areas, to be fair, he's going at it for a good hour. Now, you might think I'm like a bit of a perv, but I can't actually see what's happening. You can just see shadows moving. And then he casually just has a piss after he's finished.
We have got returning customers tonight. Paula and Carly, they featured on episode 8, I think it was. It was Carly who had that huge meltdown in the brothel section where she couldn't continue. Tonight she's back to face her fears, and she's literally said those words when we've briefed them. But they want to do all types of experiments tonight, and we kind of just want to let them do what they want to do, because when people return here, they are coming back to really sort of not just experience the place, but they want to delve into the serious investigation side of things like we are. Mm-hmm. So, look, tonight, let's try and find out who the hell Charles is.
Hello. What are you doing?
Did you hear anybody walking outside?
I thought that was you.
No.
Oh. Yeah, I heard it.
Do you want to read you through?
Oh, right, okay. We've just heard walking on the landing.
Alright, we'll just check that out for you now.
Less than an hour into the investigation, Paula and Carly hear footsteps on the main corridor, and although these are not the clearest we have heard in recent times, it is again evidence that reoccurring activity is being captured in the same area on a regular basis.
Alright, so we are just over an hour into the investigation. Pretty weird footsteps happened around sort of 9:20.
Mm-hmm.
We've checked it back on the camera, can't debunk them. It's happening on an empty corridor. Very, very strange. We've now sent Paula and Carly into room 4, and they are armed with the Paratech device, which obviously brings through ITC responses. Be interesting to see if they can get anything about the sword, anything about Charles. And Harry and I are going to do something in here right now. Because we hear constant noises in the brothel section, we're going to arm the Ovulus device in here and see if any responses come through just while we're sat here.
That'll be cool, yeah.
If anybody is here, if any energies are with us, could you please make your presence known?
There's a man called Charles here with us. Can you make yourself known to us, please?
Do you like the way this room's been decorated? It's different from how it was. I think it looks beautiful now. If you like it, why don't you give us a knock on the wall just to say yes?
So as things stand, nothing at all has come through the Ovulus right now. Nothing's come through in room 4 either.
Is this your home? Is this where you feel most comfortable? Or do you feel stuck? Do you feel stuck here?
It's like a weird atmospheric change.
Ooh!
Okay, we've just had 2 words come through the Ovulus device, alone and inside. Alone and inside. That's the first 2 words that have come through the Ovulus in about half an hour. What do you mean? Alone? Inside where?
There is suddenly a very strange atmospheric change, and immediately the words alone, inside, come through the Ovulus device, which also measures a change in the atmosphere. This is bizarre how both Harry and I feel this change, and our device measures it. Nothing happens in room 4, and we instruct the girls to head into room 5, and just before they leave room 4, this happens.
Hello?
Just the doll fell over.
Yeah, that's what I've just noticed, yeah. Right.
Good evening. I'm not going to touch the doll. I'll let Danny or somebody touch the doll. Are you okay? Is there anybody here who would like to talk to us?
We are almost 3 hours into Monday night's investigation, and the building has a unique and almost eerie feel to it. And in room 5, Paula and Carly are about to witness the evidence they are looking for.
Can you tell me your name? Edward.
Edward.
Is that Edward? Am I talking to Edward?
Edward. Have we had that name before?
No, never. And it's interesting that that's just come through now when she's asked that. It's almost like it's heard her, and directly in response, the fact that the doll went before they entered the room is very, very strange. It's almost as if whoever was in that room knew they were about to enter.
Edward, though.
It's another name we're going to have to research.
Disembodied.
That's a word you don't expect.
I know.
Disembodied. Are you disembodied?
Come in.
Hello?
That just say disembodied.
It did, yeah, with unholy written underneath it.
Serious.
Yep.
Does he want to
Okay, now obviously as you know we had a disembodied voice come through in there the other week, but the fact that it's saying unholy as well is very weird. Try and push that for us please guys.
Who are you? Did you hear that? Hello?
Hello?
There is a very, very clear baby crying in this room.
Serious.
Seriously.
This is a monumental moment as the girls hear a baby crying from within the room, and our camera's audio just about captures it. Is this again further proof that the spirit of a child haunts this room? And does this again back up our theory that a child was buried behind the wall here?
Who are you? Did you hear that? Who are you? Did you hear that?
I joined the guests in room 5 to conduct multiple EVP sessions, but nothing happens. So we decide to spend the rest of the investigation in the brothel section, where we would conduct a number of experiments.
Hi, I'm Paula.
I'm Carly.
And this is our second time here. We're back for round 2. The reason we came back is because Carly had quite a profound experience in the brothel room last time she was here, and we've come back to see if she can connect with that energy, and also because this place is absolutely fascinating.
That sounded like either a child or a female whisper.
Really quiet. We have a camera with better audio though, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Another voice manifests in the old brothel section, and although we cannot be certain what it says, this is yet again solid evidence of the hauntings that exist here. Listen again from our XA11 camera. Shortly after this, Carly experiences some extreme side effects.
Are you able to leave, please?
Yeah, sure. Is everything okay?
I'm not feeling okay at all. I feel really, really, really shaky, and I don't know, I just don't feel right.
Yeah, last time that we came here, there was a lot that I hadn't radioed over because I was terrified. When we were in the brothel area, I'd heard footsteps come into the doorway, and then they walked closer where the tripod camera was, and then you heard like sounds like a female vocal tones coming from this side of the room, and then something just walked straight at me from a left hand side, and then I got this weird, it was like this weird tingling from my left hand side straight over to my right, and then out of nowhere I just felt like pure anguish, like sheer anguish. It was so much emotional pain, and then my heart just started pounding, and then I didn't feel right, and that's when I radioed through to you to leave.
Quiet night so far.
Yeah, just been into room 5 with Paula and Carly to do an EVP session. Didn't capture anything. They want to come to the brothel now, don't they?
I'll tell a story.
Go on, tell a story.
So, about 3 years ago, it got brought to my attention that in room 3, I think the shower curtain had ripped or fell off or something. So I had to nip to B&Q to get a new shower curtain. I specifically told the staff not to let anyone in that room until I come back and sorted it out. So I went and got the shower curtain. I came back, entered room 3, and to my horror, there was 2 people lying on the bed, 69, and all I saw was the guy's face looking at me while he was doing what he had to do. I think we got a mention on TripAdvisor that you need to lock your doors as there's people who enter in unexpectedly. Now that doesn't happen that often. We don't obviously go into the hotel rooms unannounced, but I was unaware that they got into the room, so yeah.
That's this week's story. He'll be back next week with
loads of
tales
stories
from the grave.
Moments before we begin our session in the brothel, we notice the doll had moved again in room 5, and it seems that this is becoming very frequent again. We invite Paula and Carly to view the footage.
Alright, so we have just called Paula and Carly into the control room here. As you guys know, I set the doll with you in room 5.
Yeah.
Jumped up and down, wouldn't fall at all.
No, it didn't move, it didn't move.
This happens about 6 minutes after we leave room 5.
Oh, bloody hell.
Very, very weird.
Yeah?
Alright, so Harry and I have now joined Paula and Carly here in the brothel section, and this is a big area that you two wish to cover for a good couple of hours tonight. We don't usually do this, but because you two are returning guests, we've decided to join you and really try and work in this area which has provided such incredible results recently. We are using a very new technique here at My Haunted Hotel, and this is an advanced EVP session. We have Adobe Audition open here, connected to the H4 microphone, which has an external high-powered Rode microphone trailing out of it into the function room through there, and we will be able to monitor the waveform here via Adobe Audition software, and if there's any spikes in the audio, then we can replay that immediately and see if we've captured any walking, any voices, anything like that. Let's do it. Can you tell me what the name Charles means in this building? Okay. Okay. Alright, so what I'm doing now is just amplifying all that audio to see if there's any spikes that we potentially missed. So Harry, you can see here, these are all me calling out. When we enhance now, we're looking for anything in between.
Over the 45 minutes, we capture 2 pieces of unexplained audio in the function room where our microphone is placed. We can confirm that we are completely silent in the brothel section during these recordings. We then arm the Alice box and the Intravox, and despite nothing manifesting through the white noise, the Alice box produces this.
Can you tell us, did you all live here or work here? Who are the 13? Be clear, please, answer my question. Can we hear their voices?
Do you want to cross over to the other side? Are you bored of being here now? Do you want to leave?
What is stopping you from crossing over?
Nothing more comes through, and we witness no more activity. Another fascinating night ends at My Haunted Hotel, and once again, we had been able to capture multiple pieces of unexplainable phenomena on camera.
Can you tell me your name?
Edward.
Edward. Who are you? Did you hear that?
Tonight has been amazing, another amazing night at My Haunted Hotel. The activity seems to come in waves tonight. The highlight for me was hearing the baby crying in room 5. There's been a lot that's happened, as always in this place, you know, but for me it was definitely the baby crying.
It was exactly the same for me.
Yeah, I've actually really enjoyed tonight, and simply because I think we've been so used to long periods at the beginning where nothing happens at all. Tonight was completely different. There were footsteps right at the beginning. They had the baby crying, which for me is just phenomenal because I've witnessed that myself as well. I've been in room 5 when that's happened, and it is incredible to witness. Alice box again, very, very on point in certain circumstances, but we're not really any closer to finding now who Charles was or the secrets of the building. But again, I think because of what happened last week, to come in here tonight and just expect to get answers straight away, it doesn't work like that, and a bit naive for us to think that was going to happen. We did some really interesting experiments tonight, and I think for the rest of the week now we've got to work on that, work further, research further, and try to uncover what everybody else wants to know as well.
A pretty good night really. The end of the night was quite quiet. Had some interesting things through the Alice box. Nothing through the what's it called then? Introvox.
That time of night, mate.
Yeah, it's so warm. I felt really sick at one time when I told you. Now that could be just the heat, but it did feel like something was affecting me a little bit. And I know you felt quite trippy at the same time, didn't you? So it all kind of built up to something massive to happen, and it didn't happen. So slightly disappointed, but again, baby crying, footsteps in the corridor. The dolls fell over like quite dramatically in one case. Yeah, I think that's about it, isn't it? I think I've covered everything.
Another 2 rooms are about to check in at the hotel, and we are joined by Real Life Ghost Stories podcast, and We Need to Talk About Ghosts podcast, who will be spending the night in room 6.
I'm really excited about today. I'm really excited. These guys look quite scared, considering they run paranormal podcasts and everything. I thought they'd be a little bit more hardened, but they look absolutely terrified. We have room 6 and room 5 in tonight, and it should be really good. It has a bit of a vibe around tonight, which it feels good.
Yeah, definitely. Heard you guys had a interesting night last night with a Mormon priest.
We did. It was
really interesting, wasn't it, Brett, to be fair?
Yeah, the guy was fascinating to talk to, being an ex-Mormon priest, and basically came here to try and debunk almost the sort of weird rituals that are in Mormonism. We had no idea about them. That they baptize dead bodies and all these different things, and it was fascinating to listen to all these crazy stories from the Mormon Church.
Oh, it's the one with the rocket ship.
What?
On the pentagram.
Oh, you joking?
No.
Is this how bright it is, full stop?
I don't know.
I actually don't know either.
Oh no! Oh no! You bitch!
What's a bitch?
You put Tony down there.
No.
Oh no!
Why is a doll on the floor?
Do you know, when we were doing the interviews before, I heard something.
I thought the pub was just open, so it was a bang, and I just kind of dismissed it.
We should probably ask them whether that was down when they got in the room.
Yeah, should we do that? Let's have a look.
As we reviewed room 5's camera, we realised the doll had moved again, and way before the guests had even arrived.
Alright, so I went upstairs to room 5 to put the doll back up. We found the moment it falls, which is before the guests even arrived today. Now obviously, Brett, you put the fan in room 5, but the interesting thing about this is the fan had been going for 2 hours before that doll fell.
Yeah, I specifically set the fan facing the opposite direction of the doll because I didn't want to try and affect it in any way. As always, if we ever set the doll up for whatever reason, we'd bang on the shelf and make sure it's standing solid, but it could have been the fan. But
I honestly don't think so, for the simple fact that you've had it in there 2 hours and then the doll randomly falls. And as we can see now, the fan is still going in room 5. I've reset the doll and it's not falling. If it was the fan, it'd constantly be falling. Interestingly enough as well, last week It fell twice on the Thursday. Monday, it fell twice again. Didn't fall last night, I take it?
No, not at all. Stood strong. It's been there since yesterday.
And the exciting thing is there, when we did all get excited, the clown's moving, but we realised that was the fan.
Yeah.
That is definitely the fan.
Yeah.
Welcome to room 6. You've been chosen to stay in one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel. We encourage you to explore your room as you may find some hidden information. I keep thinking somebody's going to grab my leg from under the bed.
Say that.
Right, I'm going to have to put my feet up. Sorry, the feet are going on the wall. Don't kill me on the camera. Your room has been decorated to evoke the spirits that have been recorded in this room. Checkout is 12 p.m. the next day. Is that for the spirits too, I wonder?
I love that, and please don't soil the carpet.
Room 6 is the most infamous room at the hotel. A dark and sinister male entity has been recorded on more than one occasion in this room. He does not like women and anyone willing to stand up to him. Well, let me tell you, he's picked the right woman. I just want to say, I don't like men and anybody who stands up to me. So,
maybe if there's something in here, it can light up that bulb for us.
Oh, and so it did.
And so it did.
Thank you so much for that.
That was pretty on cue.
Is that Sarah? Or is it Billy? No?
It's like, I don't know what to do with the ball little. We're not close to it.
That's
Can you light the ball again?
That's Sarah? Is it Billy? Well done anyway for lighting the ball up. Can you do it again?
We move Emma from room 6 into room 1, and within minutes, things start to occur. Just before she heads in, this happens.
so do you get any
Genuinely. Something's just whispered here. Genuinely.
Welcome to room 1. You've been chosen to stay in one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel. Blah, blah, blah. Room 1 has been decorated with a post-war aesthetic in mind to evoke the spirit of a local clergyman who has been spotted in this room from around the same era. This room has many hidden secrets, including the secret as to how a spirit named Mary was murdered. Can you find out how?
Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to walk around the pentagram 6 times from here. What do you say, little dolly? You want to play a game? Let's try it. I mean, Lord knows if this doesn't. That's 1. I'll be dizzy. That's 2. Each lap takes longer than you think, you know, dolly.
Hello there. Is somebody walking on the corridor outside room 1?
This is a really, really bizarre night so far. Loads is happening dead early on. Emma in room 1 is hearing loads of stuff and moved her into room 1. It's all a bit hectic.
Oh, the weirdest thing just happened!
Well, in the room we just heard?
Sorry?
I think we just heard a knock as we came on and you asked, was that you out in the corridor?
So I just got a knock from under the bed. Like, it knocked on the other side of the bed.
Right, okay. Yeah, we literally got onto the camera to watch you, and you said, is there someone? And we heard a knock, but we weren't sure where it had come from. We'll just get a quick look back on that one so we can have a proper look as to what it could have been. Bear with a second.
How you feeling?
You know what? I'll be honest. I'm feeling like trepidation is the wrong word, but that's kind of the implication. I feel like nothing's happened as of yet, but it will.
Okay, you know, it's funny. Like, I am a skeptic. I'm not a massive believer,
but I don't know if you guys would have seen it when I was in room 1, when I was sitting on the bed. I felt a knock from under the bed.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt it like reverberate through my body. And that freaked me out. Also, I'm very aware that I've just had a cheese and onion sandwich and we're in this tiny enclosed space. So
don't worry about it. I've got no sense of smell. That was a lie, but I can't smell anything.
And we are in room 6. We're in the room with the pentagram on the floor and the rocking chair. It feels fine.
Yeah, and the doll and a demon called Boone. You know, they've literally packed that room full of scary.
Hi, I'm Jane, room 5. I've had a bit to do with paranormal. I've been on a few sort of investigation things. I would say I knew nothing though, really. I've enjoyed tonight. I've enjoyed the way it's planned, the way you move us around in rooms.
Do you know what I really like about this place? What I've just realised is that for believers, it's going to be, this is a Danny Robbins phrase that I'm stealing, but for believers, it's going to be a whodunit. You know what I mean? You're going to be thinking, was it this ghost, that ghost, whatever. For skeptics, it's going to be a how done it. They're going to be trying to figure out, okay, I heard a knock, but what was it?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the real allure with this place.
So Brett's cleaning the cup. Have you noticed how clean it is?
I rinsed it, but
That's f***ing disgusting.
it's not that bad.
You rinsed it.
It's not like, don't show it the camera.
A rinsed Hustler Burger cup.
It's like a Bricky's cup, isn't it? Or a laver or
It
something.
adds to the flavour.
Day 1 in the Big Brother house. Emma and Kev are in the diary room. Is it a Geordie accent? That
was quite good.
No, I wasn't trying to do a Geordie accent. But is it a Geordie accent?
Emma and Kev are in the diary room. That was quite good.
As the investigation moves on, we send Emma and Kev back to room 6, and they both hear a baby crying. Unfortunately, we do not capture it on camera, but as they move into room 5, we are about to have a repeat of Monday night's investigation. At this point, Diane and Jane are in the downstairs bar.
Yeah, what was that? No. Give me that radio.
That was loud.
I'm actually not joking right now. There has to be a real baby somewhere around this building.
Literally have just heard that on the camera. It's just unexplainable. I can't get it. I don't understand why it's happening, but it's only happening in that room. I'm sat in the control room, which is pretty much below you. Can't hear any of that at all. It's only happening in that room or behind that wall.
I head upstairs with a digital voice recorder in hope of capturing more audio phenomena, and things get even stranger.
There you go, Brett.
What? Ah, amazing. While Danny's doing work. Oh wait, where is this? Did you not get one?
No, he's on a diet, isn't he? It's Moretti as well, so it's quite expensive.
Are you the mother of a child?
Did you hear that?
You both just heard
footsteps
banging kind of thing.
Well, I heard that earlier when I was in room 1 as well.
Did you really?
Yeah, like outside the door.
Diane and Jane remain downstairs, but nothing happens. Meanwhile, Harry, Brett and I join Emma and Kev in room 6 with the Alice box. We capture a significant response. As we head into the room, our EMF detector starts measuring huge spikes coming from the Bume box.
Yeah, to be honest, we went round with that.
You baseline tested this?
Yeah, well, Kev did. I didn't know what was going on.
Now nothing.
Should you take these lights off as well?
Yeah.
So you know how non-sensitive that device
yeah, it
is.
doesn't,
It's not like
it doesn't even go off phone or anything, really.
I tested it, I done it, went round everywhere, 000, tested it against the camera when it was in here, and it went up, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, everywhere, it was 0, especially, we tried it on the box, of course.
That was weird. Have you got time?
Time code camera 1201.
Cool.
Alright, let's go for it, let's see what happens.
Jesus, yeah, you could...
Have you got a name for the lady who threw herself out the window?
Harriet.
That was mad! That was way off.
Go ahead, Harry, go for it. That's
Jesus Christ, that's if. I wish for you all to follow us down to the brothel, so we can see you.
Oh my God, sorry, did you just kick my foot?
I haven't moved.
Oh my God! I know you just broke out my foot!
No, I've been... I've been sat here,
I'm
this.
so sorry,
It's okay.
Oh! What's it behind? What is going on?
Sorry. Behind.
Did you not step behind?
This is where I've been sat.
My hand was there.
I've been sat like this, like, on my light. You'll see it on the thermal camera, I've not moved.
A crazy moment as Brett feels something touch him, and the Alice box then brings through the word behind. We manage to gather ourselves, and we all join together in the brothel section, where we conduct an intravox session, as well as a brand new experiment using Hertz frequencies.
If it isn't a resident spirit in the building with us now, there's someone else who wants to come forward and talk to us. Have you got a message for anyone around the table?
We are testing a brand new experiment which consists of sweeping through Hertz frequencies from 0 to 5000 Hertz. We believe that between 2500 and 3500 Hertz is an area of interest after receiving results within that area during a private testing. We now attempt to prove it.
1000.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ!
A female voice manifests over the white noise, and we believe she says, "The way." We have no idea what this means, and within seconds, this happens.
Approaching 2000 Hertz.
Who was that then? Can you do that again for us? Can you tell us again who you are?
Hitting the area of interest now. Oh my God, the REM pod's going off. What? 27,000 Hertz. REM pod goes off.
Is there somebody behind the bar? Can you move something behind the bar?
3500.
At 2700 Hertz, which is directly in our area of interest, the REM device on the bar is activated unexplainably, and upon review of our thermal imaging camera, we capture this strange anomaly, which has a cold heat source and moves directly behind Brett and I. At the same time the REM device is activated. The REM measures disturbances around the device itself, and as you can see, none of us are near it. Watch again, starting with the voice.
1000.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ! Hitting the area of interest now. Oh my God, the REM pod's going off.
Interesting.
I think we found it, interesting. Scary. I pretty much pants a couple of times.
I didn't find it scary, I found it interesting. I've enjoyed the late part of the evening round the table. I found that very interesting. I found the woman's voice very interesting. Just a little pity it wasn't a bit more of that, because that was really good. I found that really, really good.
Well, I've actually found it quite enlightening, I think. I've been freaked out a number of times tonight. Yeah. Genuinely, hand on heart, I have had moments where I've felt actually scared and not wanted to leave Kev's side.
Yeah.
If you had said to me, can you go into another room, I would have been like, no, I'm not going anywhere on my own. So, yeah.
And that's you as a skeptic as well, isn't it? From a skeptical point of view. I mean, as a believer, I specifically towards the end of the night when we had the REM pod going off, we could hear a voice coming through like at the static box. That kind of put the cherry on the cake for me, I think. After we'd encountered babies crying, balls flashing of their own accord, footsteps outside, you being poked off a bed, you know. But off a bed was an extreme example, but you know. So yeah, all in, it's been an eye-opener, hasn't it? For me, the one thing that I can't explain is that REM pod at the very end, because that works on proximity. And there was definitely no one near that REM pod when it went off.
I don't know if there's anything that I would say is completely unexplainable. But that last session that we did with the voice, whether it came through the spirit box or whether it came through in the actual room, that was scary. That was a horrible voice, and I feel like it was worse in real life than it's probably going to sound on camera. But whether or not it's unexplainable, I don't know. But did it freak me out? Yes.
I'd say that the good thing about this actual location is there were several times tonight when one of us would hear something or one of us would think we'd experienced something. And because it's a fully immersive experience, you're able to literally walkie-talkie to headquarters and say, can you just look back at the last 5 minutes of this room? You don't get that with any other ghost hunt. You don't get that sort of interaction. You don't get that continued support of knowing that anything that takes place, you can verify it, you can have someone debunk it, which the guys would do, and you'd be left with something that you can't explain, which in your case with something punching underneath your bed happened.
I think that I've spent a long time watching paranormal TV shows, and if you're like me and you've done that thing where you've gone, I could do that, I wouldn't be scared, I'd be fine, I could explain that, then you need to come here and experience it, because it is exactly what I imagine it's like being on a paranormal TV show. You know there's cameras everywhere, you know those cameras are picking things up, and like Kev said, you can radio to you guys and say, can you rewind 5 seconds and can you hear a bang? It's amazing, it's great.
Yeah, and to give 2 examples of like real life scenarios which you may see on the thing is that we had, for example, someone belly laugh. It freaked me and Emma out, and we were like, someone's just laughed. We were able to ring through on the walkie-talkie, and you guys checked it out and come back and said, yeah, it's people in the next room, don't worry about it. By the same merit, when we look at each other and say, if you just heard a baby cry, we can get in touch with you guys and you guys can confirm that's unexplainable.
Another great night. It hasn't failed to deliver again. Few knocks in, a big knock in room 1 when the lady was on the bed. A child crying multiple times, which is weird. Obviously no child on site at the moment. The pub's closed.
It's been an interesting week, hasn't it? Child crying on Monday as well.
Yeah.
It's been interesting the fact that Emma is a skeptic and she's experienced stuff tonight that has pretty much freaked her out.
I think the one thing that we have realised, that even if you come here completely sceptical and a little bit cynical, you still enjoy the night. It's still an experience overall, which is nice. And Emma confirmed that earlier, that she still had a great night regardless of what she thinks, and she has still said that she's experienced stuff that she can't explain.
Yeah,
which is great.
That voice at the end was
the whole sequence of events that happened at that time.
Yeah,
it was unreal. The REM pod going off, literally after the voice.
Yeah.
Or was it before the voice?
Yeah, it was after. And that experiment with the hertz moving up through the frequencies is really, really working.
It's interesting that we had 2 significant things happen around the same spot of these frequencies.
Yeah, absolutely. And that'll be an experiment worth pursuing going forward, I think.
Definitely.
On to next week.
For the My Haunted Hotel team, we are continuing to document solid results on a weekly basis. Whether that be poltergeist activity, disembodied footsteps, voices, and even a baby crying. We believe we are on the verge of discovering something huge in this 400-year-old building. We'll see you soon.
Joking?
What?
And we are going to conduct an introvox session with everybody when they come back upstairs.
I'm hungry.
Have you watched the video of that Brothel horror? No. Oh. No, but I'll have to get on. It's all on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah. No, because this is the first time I've heard that, Danny. Yeah.
The first time we've heard of that, Danny. Finally. Oh dear. She won't know what "let's do this" means. Oh no, that was such bad timing!
Some heart attack. That's the second time tonight you've almost killed off. I didn't know.